A sitting congresswoman just called for the American people to overthrow the government and not pay their taxes. Of course it was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
100 million Americans that say F you to the government and refuse to pay their taxes. You want to know why?
Why?
Because the federal government has fucked you over. It rapes you every single day.
And of course, she did it on this Conspiracy Theorist Podcast, The Shipwreck Show, that we've actually talked about before on the channel because of how batshit insane this woman's podcast is.
60 Rice Krispie treats and a big box of name brand chips is a luxury that you do not deserve if you are getting welfare. I were mad before, just fucking wait. A big box of Uncrustables is a luxury that you do not deserve if you have to get welfare. Gushers and fruit snacks is a luxury that you do not deserve to have if you are on welfare.
Yeah, these two are a couple of real peaches. And listen, before we dive in here, first of all, make sure you like and subscribe. And secondly, a broken clock can be right twice a day, right? Just because Marjorie's about to say some crazy anarchical shit that maybe you or I agree with on some theoretical principle doesn't mean she's a good person or that you should take her advice. Just want to get that disclaimer out of the way because this thing starts with something I would agree with. Forgotten Americans, as she calls them, taking back their power.
The American people have forgotten their power. So we talk about, you're talking about the working poor. I'm talking, and I call them the average, I call them the forgotten American man and woman, but that's the same group. That is the largest group of Americans. And I think, in my opinion, that is the most powerful group of Americans. I think that is the group of Americans that have no idea that they are so powerful, they could rein in their government like that. Not only could they rein it in, they could overthrow it. And
How could they do that though? Just out of curiosity, like what does that look like?
I look, so you that's about 100 million Americans, right?
Yeah.
100 million Americans putting $10 into something that's $1 billion.
Like a true grassroots.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also, let's just say forget donations. 100 million Americans, I'll jump way out there. We're going to make all kinds of headlines. Let's say 100 million Americans that say F you to the government and refuse to pay their taxes.
I was going to ask you about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's on my list.
This is how you do it.
You file exempt.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because the federal government has fucked you over. It rapes you every single day.
Yeah, she just went there and it gets even crazier. But think about this. That is a sitting congresswoman telling very impressionable bleach drinkers and horse anti-parasite takers to say fuck you to the government and not pay their taxes. Again, on principle, I would love to not pay taxes and not fund the atrocities of this administration or this government. I'm in no way advising anyone to do so, but there is a growing movement online of people who are saying that they are claiming exempt, as they'll talk about right here.
There's this movement of people that are filing exempt. They don't want to pay taxes anymore. They don't file anymore. And I'm not going to out them because we don't want the IRS to come. But then now the IRS has more or less been defunded. They don't have anybody left because that's been slimmed way down.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a movement happening of people that are doing this.
And here's the deal. Like, think about it. Social Security, you pay in your Social Security check and your employer matches it for all these years and you retire and you get like a $1,500 a month. I mean, that is such a pathetic joke. But here, I'm going to give you something else.
Okay.
So here's a little dirty little secret that nobody knows about. All members of Congress and senators and all federal employees, guess what we have? Guess what we have? We have a retirement account called TSP. TSP. And this is the military, the entire federal government, all of us have it. And a portion of our paycheck goes into the TSP account and it gets invested and it gets heavily invested. And guess what? I checked mine earlier today and I've been earning an average of 20% on this TSP retirement account, while the American people's Social Security is and robbed and pillaged and going broke and going to be totally wiped out by 2035 unless we do something about it. And you don't even know if you're going to get your Social Security.
But that comes out pretty fucking hollow coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. I want to show you this video here. Quick shout out to the guy who made it. This is Stalking the Capitol. I'll put his links in the description. And he goes through and ranks the financial integrity of politicians. Here's his one on Marjorie Taylor.
Is your member of Congress a piece of shit? Let's find out. Today we're looking into the financial integrity of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia's 14th Congressional District. All right, she's been in Congress since 2021. Last cycle she raised $8 million. Less than 1% of that money came from PACs, while 65% of that money came from small donations under $200. 35% of that money came from large donations. Those are donations between $201 and $6,600. She doesn't have any corporate donors, so that, paired with the fact that she receives almost none of her money from PACs, means that on the campaign side, she's completely clean. However, she holds a lot of individual stock. And what's even more concerning than the $6 million worth of trades she's made is the frequency of those trades, with 326 trades being made since she's been in office. Just in the last year, she's purchased stock from Amazon, Eli Lilly, Meta, Visa, Google, Intel, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and many more, which all contribute to her estimated net worth of roughly $22 million. So this is tough. She finances her campaign without any corporate interest. However, she has major conflicts of interest when it comes to her personal finances. All in all, I'm giving Marjorie Taylor Greene a C-.
So when I tell you, look, I am dead serious about the American people. If they really wanted to, everybody I work with, all of my colleagues, everybody in the government, they would be terrified to talk to a lobbyist or talk to a foreign government, or they would be terrified to step out of line if the American people got serious about forcing Congress and the Senate and the administration, no matter who's serving, to serve them, serve the people, because it's so far out of control.
Again, not that I don't disagree on principle, but bitch, you are the federal government. This is the exact Antifa anarchical talk that Donald Trump would use as justification to send troops to Marjorie Taylor Greene's house if she was a Democrat. SEAL Team 6 would be busting down this bitch's door if she wasn't MAGA. Not you outing yourself here, Marjorie, for making 20% while you were caught doing insider trading, allegedly, I guess, and then claiming that the federal government, the one you supported, the one you are a part of, the MAGA movement that you have forced down the throats of unwilling Americans, that is taking away people's health care and social security. Now you get to rail against it because you're suddenly an outsider? Frankly, Marjorie, take that 20% and shove it where the sun don't shine. My brain can't even, it just can't even, but it gets crazier. Meanwhile, Miss hyper-processed foods are a luxury that welfare queens shouldn't afford over here, is raising her hands and saying hallelujah, amen, as if she actually gives a shit about the plight of other people. And again, Bleach Blonde Bad Bill Butch Body is right. The American people should be able to take back power. We should be able to have more influence over our politicians than fucking lobbyists or a foreign government. And as if her financial integrity wasn't bad enough, remember her Christian moral integrity of getting divorced with her husband recently? I didn't read the divorce papers. I don't know why it happened. I just assumed they wanted to go back to just being cousins. But on that note, here's her solution to the current broken American political system. She calls for a national divorce. Basically, the idea of the U.S. splitting into separate countries or entities, often along red and blue state lines, due to deep ideological and cultural divisions.
Come together again, but I'm going to have some conversations. I'm trying to have some conversations. I even talked to people is, look, your life is largely impacted by your county and city taxes, your school board, your children's education, which, oh my God, protect that with everything you have. That's number one. So pay attention there in your state politics. Now, on the federal level, I mean, I really think it's gotten to a point where people need to come back and bring back the Convention of States. That's where you can actually take over and rein Congress in. I'm a big fan of the national divorce. I really am. I don't know how the left and right can ever come together again. But I'm going to have some conversations. I'm trying to have some conversations. I even talked with Mark Cuban recently about health insurance because Mike Johnson won't talk to me about it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
They want to do an Obamacare type of thing. Is that what that looks like? Oh my God.
He wants price transparency with pharmaceutical drugs, but Mike Johnson won't even talk to me about it, but I can get Mark Cuban to talk to me about it. So I don't know what's happening, but I don't know. I want to reduce the federal government down to the size of a pea and give all the power back to the states, and then say, look, guys, if you want to do your crazy stuff over there, fine, go do it. But we're going to live our life this way. We can trade with each other, but my God, leave us alone. Enough.
Great idea, Marjorie. Let's see how your red redneck states fund their education and their SNAP benefits that they overwhelmingly take from the federal government, and all the other stuff that blue states subsidize for deep red MAGA country. I love that idea. I think it would really show where the real shitholes are. It's so dumb, like this viewer even called her out. You can't be serious with this. Have you seen her stock portfolio? She's only pushing this because she has a padded portfolio with several healthcare providers. LOL. Two idiots. Two idiots indeed, because while some of her foo-foo points that she doesn't even actually believe in have a P of merit, like giving power back to the people, it couldn't be more clear that that is not what she wants because she benefits from the current system. Her portfolio speaks a hell of a lot louder than anything she said in that interview. So fuck her. We've done more work for real Americans here at Really American than Marjorie Taylor Greene could ever dream of doing. This is how you build community. This is how you keep people informed and call out fucking dumbass MAGA bullshit like this while giving power, autonomy, and a voice to the people like you who watch us day in and day out. I'm all for fighting back against the government, and Marjorie, you're part of that, honey. God, the irony, the way that these people are gonna sow their own demise is so funny. Like, who are the ones that insurrected the Capitol, MAGA, and then you pardoned them all, so now there's a bunch of violent lunatics out there that you're again telling to overthrow the government. What the fuck don't you people understand? I genuinely don't even know how to end this video, but regardless, thank you all for watching. If you want to support us here at Really American, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's the freest way to fight fascism and stupidity like this. And for Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I will see you guys in the next one.